Hey everybody, good morning. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? Happens to be Friday, December 8th, 2017. I want to talk to you about a bunch of things, but the number one thing I want to start off with is Deutsche Bank. You all know about this bank, one of the largest banks on the planet. Just came out with a pretty dire warning, pretty much with regard to everything. Housing bubbles, stock market bubbles, corrections, all kinds of things. Now, this is the second mega bank in the last 2 weeks or so that is putting out warnings like this. The first one came from Goldman Sachs. Look, I think that these banks here are trying to cover their rear ends, if you understand what I'm talking about. Look, nothing is real. You know that if you're following this blog. So we all know, I mean, this is common knowledge, just as plain as all the rigging that's going on here with precious metals, that this market is distorted, it is stretched, and a lot of people are going to get hurt when this rolls over. I explained to you a couple of days ago how the game has been buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips for years, almost a decade now, since the Fed has been propping up the bond market, all the world central banks doing the same thing. Investors and traders are now really one-trick ponies. They don't know anything else. So when this algorithm stops working, what are they going to do? They're going to panic, no doubt about it. And in a Deutsche Bank here, don't listen to Greg Mannarino, or Goldman Sachs, don't listen to Greg Mannarino, is probably going to be correct. We're going to get a major drop here with regard to equity prices, and it's all going to be because what's going to occur in the bond market. Okay, with all of that said, let's move forward. Let's talk about the bond market. Right now, here's the incredible thing, people. If you were to go to my website, traderschoice.net, you're going to see that nice chart I set up for you with regard to what the price action of bonds are doing. Look, I'm getting tongue-tied already. In this environment of risk, and right now stocks are higher across the board, I want to talk about that. Who is buying bonds here? You know who it is. It's not a normal pattern of events. When you have a risk-on environment, cash comes out of bonds, doesn't go into them. Okay? This is being supported by the Federal Reserve. Period. Who will not allow the bond market to sell off. Did you see what happened yesterday in the bond market? I went over this at length. If you did not see the video that I did last night, please watch it. So let me just say this about today's trading action. Okay, I went over my last whole bunch of trades with you. I explained to you how I was playing them. I explained to you that at the market close yesterday, I bought calls on NVIDIA. I explained to you yesterday at the market open that I bought calls on the Qs. All right. Today, almost right at the open, I closed both of these positions with nice profits. The reason why I did not hold these positions throughout the day, and they could go up, all right? Look, I'm not a pig. Pigs get slaughtered. If I'm happy with a profit, I don't care if it's going to go higher. I really don't. I'm happy with it. I try to think about what else I'm going to do with the cash I have just accumulated. It's that simple. If you become a pig, you will lose. I want you to remember that. Remember those words. So I closed those two positions, but there's a reason for that. I do not like the way the market is trading. Although stocks did jump at the open, they kind of froze. They kind of got frozen in time, and that's when I closed those positions. I didn't like seeing that. Again, I was happy with my profits there, and these may go up throughout the day. Frankly, I don't care what they do. I'm happy with my profit. That's it. I'm going to look for new positions. However, I am not going to open a new position today. I do not want to hold a position over the weekend. I have no idea what's going to happen over the weekend, whether North Korea is going to launch a missile, if there's going to be an attack on Korea. No clue, don't know. And this way, I can sleep better at night. I rarely, very rarely, will hold a position through a weekend. It helps me stay, well, relatively sane. Let me talk about Bitcoin here real quick, because the first thing I got this morning in my email box was a whole bunch of things with regard to Bitcoin. It seems that some of you yesterday bought Bitcoin at or near the high of like 19,000, and then it dropped to like 15,000. And a lot of you are asking me, hey, Greg, what do I do? Do I sell it now? Do I take a loss? People, look, I have covered Bitcoin with literally 100% accuracy since it hit $2,800. I told you how I played it. I also told you that I was not getting back into Bitcoin. This volatility is frankly too much for me. And for those of you that got in yesterday at or near the top, and now it's probably going to go higher. Look, this is my opinion, and I could be wrong here. So don't panic. Some of you, lost a substantial amount of cash on paper so far. If you bought Bitcoin at the high yesterday, and I don't even know, I think it's like 16 now, so you did recoup some. But if you're holding Bitcoin now, you're doing this more than likely for the longer haul. Not kind of, what I was doing was I was kind of trading it. I look at everything from a trading standpoint. And could you imagine, let's say, if a stock of company XYZ would have dropped that much on a percentage basis, there'd be panic, okay? And it seems like some of you are panicking over what Bitcoin just did. Look, if history is any tell, when you get a big drop like that in Bitcoin, it usually goes higher. Usually goes higher. Now, I don't want to talk too much about Bitcoin here. I've explained to you what I'm doing. And you guys and girls out there, you're smart enough to make your own decisions. And when you get involved in something with risk, you got to be willing to understand there's a potential for losses. Now, again, I'm not saying that if you sold Bitcoin now after buying it at the high, yeah, you're going to have a realized loss. But if you didn't sell, you have just a paper loss right now. It may turn around. It may not turn around. I don't know what to say with Bitcoin right now. I'm going to be straight as I can with you. It's gone absolutely parabolic. And I would like to see it drop even more than it dropped overnight, honestly, before I would get back in. And when I do get back in, I told all of you, I will tell you if you're going to want to follow along with me and what I do. But always, always do your own homework. Do your own research with every single thing that comes out of my mouth. In fact, when I say something, don't even believe it's true. Just do your own research about it first, and then make up your own mind as to if what I'm saying makes sense to you, and then you play it accordingly. It's that simple. So do not panic right now. A couple of you, I read two, literally were losing your minds over the paper loss. Don't do that. Look, if you're going to get sick to your stomach over gyrations, especially in something like Bitcoin, which is extremely volatile, you probably should do yourself a favor and stay away from it. This business of trading, and I'm not even talking about Bitcoin now, it's gut-wrenching a lot of times, and you got to have some kind of fortitude to stick in there and stick to your guns. And you got to be willing to take losses from time to time as well. That's this business. Just because, quite frankly, I've gone over my last whole bunch of trades, I have not had a single loss, not one. That doesn't mean that my next trade isn't going to crush me. It's very possible. It's happened before, and I know for a fact it's going to happen again. That's the business. That's the way this is. It's not for everybody. Okay, let's talk about gold and silver real quick. They've been getting absolutely pounded. They are trying to make a comeback right here today, but looking at the charts this morning, more losses are probably in store, believe it or not. but good. It looks like really like a rubber band that's being stretched to me, and it looks like a snapback is going to come at one point. Don't know when. The rigging here is incredible. I mean, seriously, and I've been covering this at length. Doesn't matter what the dollar does, they're pressuring metals. Doesn't matter what's going on in the bond market, metals are lower. It's unbelievable that no regulator, no governing body wants to look at this. It's exactly, to me, like what happened with the Bernie Madoff Ponzi. Everyone kept turning a blind eye to it. I honestly believe that at one point when this does correct to fair value, somebody's going to be forced to look into this. At least I would hope so. I know it's going to correct to fair value. Everything is. I mean, let's listen out to Deutsche Bank with warnings across the board. Look it up. Goldman Sachs, same thing. I mean, major bank after major bank after major bank is coming out with warning after warning after warning. And most of the market participants are kind of just, again, whistling past the graveyard. Again, despite not just these major banks that are warning after warning after warning, but all of these multi-billionaire and fund managers, same thing, warning after warning after warning. At one point, this is going to crack. I don't know when. I don't care at all. Look, if the market drops, I'm going to tell you straight out, as straight as I possibly can. I'll be frankly happy. And if the market goes up, I'll be frankly happy. Why? Because I'm going to trade these markets just like the Wall Street banks are. And I'm going to profit from it. And so are you. That's why I'm here. I'm going to outline this for you, tell you what I'm doing so you can follow along if you want. Do your own homework. And because, look, the vast majority of people here are going to be fleeced beyond the point of recognition. And I refuse to let that happen to you on my watch. These people are so filled with greed right now. Understand that. They've now turned into pigs. The vast majority of people here who have a 401k or an investment that is linked to the stock market have literally become pigs. And you know what happens to pigs. Pigs get slaughtered. That's it. All of these people think this market's going to go up in perpetuity and it's never going to stop. That is not going to happen. I'm sorry for all of you who think it's going to play out that way. The market always pulls back. And this one, don't listen to Greg Mannarino anymore. Start listening to the major banks. Start listening to the multi-billion-dollar hedge fund managers who are saying the same thing. So don't listen to me. Everybody hate trolls out here. Don't listen to Greg. Listen to these guys. I know a lot of you trolls think you're smarter than the banks are, or smarter than the multi-billionaire hedge fund managers, although I find that a little hard to believe. Anyway, all right, with that said, let's see how this plays out through the rest of the day, people. It's kind of interesting. And I hope I covered some important topics, especially with this whole Bitcoin smashdown, I guess that you can call it that. Which would happen last night. So don't panic. Think about how you want to play it. I told you everything that I can say pretty much. And we're going to sum all this up at the end of the day. See you then. Over now.